In this video, I'm going to explain weekend spending problems. I didn't buy anything big, but somehow my weekend still destroyed my monthly budget. The weekend spending problem is not simply a matter of budgeting or self-control. It is a recurring behavioral pattern that quietly disrupts financial stability and long-term wealth building. Many individuals feel financially responsible during the weekdays, yet experience a consistent loss of control over their spending once the weekend arrives. This shift is not accidental. It is the result of psychological triggers, social pressure, and structural changes in behavior that make weekends financially more dangerous than any other part of the week. From a cash flow perspective, weekend spending acts as a disruption to an otherwise predictable financial rhythm. During the workweek, expenses tend to be structured and routine. Transportation, meals, and fixed obligations follow a relatively stable pattern. However, once the weekend begins, that structure weakens. Spending becomes emotionally driven rather than planned. People often enter a psychological state of reward seeking, where the mind interprets the weekend as compensation for a stressful week. This reward compensation effect leads to increased consumption that is justified not by need, but by emotional relief. Behavioral finance explains this shift through several well-documented cognitive biases. Present bias causes individuals to prioritize immediate pleasure over future financial benefits. Emotional spending bias leads decisions to be influenced by mood rather than logic. Additionally, mental accounting creates the illusion that weekend money is somehow separate from the rest of the budget. As a result, individuals unconsciously relax their financial discipline on Fridays and Saturdays, even though their income and obligations remain unchanged. One of the most overlooked aspects of weekend spending is its hidden cost structure. Unlike large, noticeable expenses, weekend spending is typically fragmented into small transactions that feel insignificant in isolation. A coffee here, a delivery meal there, a ride-sharing trip, snacks, entertainment subscriptions, and spontaneous purchases may each seem harmless. However, psychologically, this creates what can be described as microspending blindness. The human brain is not naturally equipped to track the cumulative effect of frequent, small expenditures, especially when they are emotionally justified in real time. Adding to this issue is what can be called the weekend premium effect. Weekends are inherently more expensive because they are designed around convenience, entertainment, and social engagement. Businesses anticipate higher demand and often structure pricing and promotions accordingly. More importantly, individuals themselves willingly pay more for convenience and experience during weekends than they would during weekdays. Eating out replaces home-cooked meals, entertainment replaces free activities, and convenience replaces planning. This combination creates an invisible premium that inflates weekend costs without people fully recognizing it. Another critical factor is budget leakage through invisible transactions. In modern digital economies, spending is increasingly frictionless. Contactless payments, mobile wallets, and subscription-based services reduce the psychological pain associated with spending. When money is not physically felt leaving one's possession, the brain registers less resistance. This phenomenon, known in behavioral finance as payment decoupling, makes it easier for individuals to overspend without realizing the cumulative impact until much later, often at the end of the month. The long-term consequence of weekend spending is best understood through opportunity cost. Even modest weekly overspending can compound significantly over time. For example, consistent weekend overspending that is never redirected towards savings or investment represents lost potential growth. Money that could have been invested, compounded, or used to reduce debt is instead consumed in short-term experiences. The true cost of weekend spending is therefore not only what is spent, but what is permanently forfeited in future financial growth. Social influence further intensifies the problem. Weekends are socially structured around interaction, leisure, and visibility. People are more likely to meet friends, attend events, or engage with social media during this time. These environments naturally increase exposure to spending triggers. Seeing others participate in outings, dining experiences, or lifestyle activities creates subtle pressure to conform. This phenomenon, often linked to fear of missing out, FOMO, leads individuals to make financial decisions based on social alignment rather than personal financial goals. This creates a direct conflict between weekend spending behavior and long-term financial objectives. Goals such as saving for a home, building an emergency fund, or investing for retirement require consistency and discipline. However, weekend behavior often prioritizes immediate satisfaction over delayed rewards. The repeated preference for short-term enjoyment gradually slows financial progress, even when income levels remain stable or increase over time. Addressing the weekend spending problem requires more than simple restriction. It requires system-based behavioral control. Effective financial discipline systems include setting a fixed weekend budget, using cash-based limits to restore spending awareness, planning activities in advance to reduce impulsive decisions, and introducing deliberate spending delays before making non-essential purchases. These systems work not by eliminating enjoyment, but by restoring intentionality to financial behavior. Ultimately, solving the weekend spending problem is not about avoiding weekends or eliminating leisure. It is about understanding the psychological and behavioral forces that shape financial decisions during this period. When individuals recognize how emotion, convenience, and social influence drive their spending, they can redesign their weekend habits in a way that aligns enjoyment with long-term financial stability. True financial discipline is not measured by how strictly one restricts spending, but by how consistently one maintains control when financial pressure is lowest and temptation is highest. Thank you for watching. In the next video, I will cover the debt payoff budget plan and how to take control of credit card and student loan debt. If this video helped you understand budgeting better, subscribe to Budget and Build for more beginner-friendly finance tutorials.